The first thing I remember about the house was the porch light. It was always on. Not bright, not welcoming, just on. A dull yellow bulb that never flickered, never turned off, and somehow made the place look occupied even when every window stayed black. I noticed it the night we moved in. My wife Sarah and I had just finished unloading the last boxes from the truck. Our new neighborhood sat on the edge of a wooded suburb outside Columbus. Quiet, older homes, sidewalks cracked from tree roots, the kind of place where people still waved but didn't ask questions. Across the street sat that house. 2 stories, faded blue siding, curtains drawn tight enough to look taped in place, and the porch light already glowing before sunset. I remember saying, someone forgot their electricity bill existed. Sarah laughed. We were retire. Everything felt normal. Back then, it was just a house. By the end of that year, I stopped calling it that. And if you enjoy real stories like this, stick around. I tell them the way they happened. Because sometimes, the ordinary details are the ones that stay with you the longest. The first week felt peaceful. Kids rode bikes at dusk. An older man walked a golden retriever every morning at exactly 7. And our next-door neighbor Karen brought banana bread before we even finished unpacking. Nobody mentioned the blue house. I assumed it was just empty. Then on the 4th night, around 2:40 a.m., I woke up thirsty. Our bedroom window faced the street, and when I walked past it, I saw a silhouette standing on the opposite sidewalk, not moving, not pacing. Just standing. I only noticed because the porch light outlined him perfectly. He was facing our house. I watched for maybe 10 seconds, still half asleep, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Maybe a late dog walker, maybe someone waiting for a ride. Then he stepped backward slowly onto the lawn of the blue house without turning around, like he already knew exactly where the yard began. He walked up the steps and went inside. No car. No sound of a door closing. I didn't mention it to Sarah. It felt small, explainable. New place, unfamiliar habits. But the next morning I asked Karen, casually, who lived across from us. She paused a little too long before answering. Someone does, she said. They keep to themselves. That was it. People in friendly neighborhoods don't give answers like that. About a week later, I started working from home again. My desk sat by the front window, and I gradually realized the porch light wasn't just on at night. It never went off. Even in broad daylight, it glowed faintly, barely visible but undeniably lit. Then I noticed something else. The curtains never moved. Not once. Not tweetwinged, not with passing trucks, not even slightly uneven from inside activity. It looked staged. I told myself it was an elderly person, maybe sensitive to light, maybe bedridden. Every explanation worked if you didn't stare too long, but staring became hard to avoid, because every afternoon at exactly 3:12 p.m., the front door opened. A man stepped out, stood on the porch for about 30 seconds, then went back inside. No mail pickup, no stretching, no smoking, just standing. The timing was precise enough that I checked my computer clock one day to be sure it wasn't a coincidence. 3:12. The next day, 3:12. Again, I started adjusting my meetings so I could see it. Not because I was scared yet, because humans look for patterns, and patterns demand reasons. After 2 weeks, curiosity beat politeness. Primera vez que dober. The yard felt wrong the moment my shoes touched the grass. Not messy, not overgrown, just untouched. No footprints, no flattened patches, no sign anyone actually used it. I knocked. No answer, but I heard movement inside. A faint shifting, like someone stepping away from the door. I knocked again and introduced myself. Still, nothing. As I turned to leave, the porch light flicked off. For the first time since we moved in, I froze. Then, 1 second later, it turned back on. I didn't knock again. That night, Sarah said she felt like someone had been watching her while she watered the plants earlier. I didn't tell her about the porch light. I just said new neighborhoods always feel strange. But I started locking the doors earlier. The following week, small things began happening. The kind you dismiss because acknowledging them changes your life. Our trash can lid was open one morning after garbage pickup had already passed. Footprints appeared in the thin dust on my car hood, ending near the windshield. Not shoe prints, bare feet. Too large for a child. I checked our doorbell camera. Nothing. No alerts, no movement. The timestamp matched overnight hours, but there was simply no recording. I reset the camera twice. 2 nights later, at 2:41 a.m., our motion light turned on. I didn't get out of bed right away. I waited. This continues from the same night, the same house across the street, the same porch light, and me and Sarah still inside our bedroom, a hand sliding down the wood. Sarah whispered, "Did you hear that?" I nodded, but didn't answer. The motion light turned off. We didn't open the door. The next morning, a vertical smear marked the paint, about shoulder height, faintly oily, like skin contact. Across the street, the porch light was still on. I finally told Karen. She didn't act surprised. She acted tired. "They've had people move out before," she said quietly. "Never complaints. Just leaving." "Who lives there?" I asked. She shook her head. "I've lived here 12 years, never seen more than one person at a time. Sometimes a man, sometimes a different man. Same behavior." That didn't make sense. "Family, no." She looked toward the house, the way people look at hospital rooms. "Routine?" she said. "Always routine?" That night I watched from the window. 312 came and went. The door opened. The man stepped out, stood still, went back in. But at 314, the upstairs curtain moved. Just a slight separation. Someone else was inside. Watching the man go back in, and then the gap shifted toward our house. Toward me. I stepped back instinctively. The curtain snapped shut. I told Sarah we should install a second camera facing the yard. We did. The next morning, the footage showed something I still replay sometimes. At 2:40 a.m., a figure stood at the edge of our lawn, perfectly still for 8 minutes. No approach, no movement. Just standing where the camera barely caught the outline. At 2:48, it walked backward across the street into the blue house yard. Exactly like the first night I saw. We called the police, non-emergency line. An officer came, knocked on their door, waited, and left. He told us, resident confirmed, no issues. I asked if more than one person lived there. He shrugged. Didn't ask. That answer stayed with me longer than it should have. Because he hadn't asked. The escalation came gradually, like pressure building in your ears. One afternoon, I found our backyard gate open. We never used it. Inside, nothing moved, but a lawn chair we kept folded against the fence now faced our house. Centered, positioned, like someone had been sitting and watching the windows. Sarah wanted to confront whoever lived there. I convinced her not to. We bought brighter lights instead. They didn't help. The next week I woke at 3:12 a.m. Not to 40. Exactly 3:12. I don't know why. I walked to the window and looked out. The man stood on his porch, facing our bedroom, not the street. Our window. He stayed there for 30 seconds. Then he stepped inside, and our doorbell rang. We didn't move. It rang again, then once more. Longer. Finally, silence. This is still the same house, the same street, the same porch light across from us. And Sarah and I hadn't left yet. I checked the camera feed. No one at the door, but the audio picked up breathing. Close to the microphone. Slow and patient. We stopped sleeping well after that. I installed a chain lock and a second deadbolt. 2 days later, the porch light across the street went off for the second time since we moved in. Only for a minute. During that minute, our front door knob turned gently. Once, then twice. Stopped by the lock. Light came back on. No one in sight. That's when fear stopped being abstract. We stayed at a hotel that night. Police again found nothing. The officer said maybe someone was messing with us, but he never checked the upstairs windows. He never watched the house long enough, because routine requires patience to see. We returned the next day to grab clothes. The blue house door stood open, just slightly. Not inviting, not accidental. Inside, the hallway visible from the street was empty. Bare walls, no furniture, just a single chair facing the front door, positioned like the lawn chair. Watching entrances, I felt certain someone was inside behind the walls, not approaching. Waiting. We left immediately. We moved out within the week. No dramatic confrontation. No arrest. Just paperwork and sleepless nights. Months later, I drove back once. The porch light was still on. A new car sat in our old driveway. Someone else lived there now. I watched from the corner for a few minutes, debating whether to warn them. But what would I say? That nothing illegal happened, yet nothing felt safe. That someone studied routines, the way people study schedules. I left without knocking. Sometimes late at night I still wake at 3:12 a.m. I don't know why my body kept that time. Sarah says I stand by the bedroom window longer than I realize. I always check the porch across the street, wherever we live now. And if you've ever had a place that felt wrong without proof, the kind where explanations exist but never quite fit, tell me about it. Below, because the scariest part isn't what someone does. It's how long they can wait without doing anything at all.